Hello, people of YouTube. I am American McGee,
Hello, I'm Martin.
and I'm a little bit discombobulated here because there's a Lulu who's laying in my lap. This is what happens when the dog has finally gone past peak jealousness at the fact that we have a baby who's getting all the attention and all the toys these days. Anyway, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Festivus and Happy whatever of us you celebrate wherever you are.
Yeah.
We are coming to you live from Shanghai, where actually there's quite a bit of Christmas stuff going on out there in China, surprisingly.
I mean, not as much as you get in the West, but, Starbucks is full of Christmas music and Christmas stickers on the windows.
Starbucks is the West. It's like this little slice of the West, wherever you find it in China.
I haven't been down Nanjing Shilu yet. I'm sure that's looking very Christmassy these days.
Very lots of tinsel Christmas trees and blinky lights everywhere. But anyway, to all of you who are joining us today, welcome and happy holidays. I do see a lot of our usuals in the chat here. I see Mr. Andrew Hawkins. Hello, Andrew.
Hello to my sweater.
He's also our biggest supporter, sponsor over there on Patreon. That's why you see his freaky Fandoms banner along the bottom there where Lulu's paws are. Hello.
Who else we got? Ghibli Girl, Wendy J, Taylor Preston's here.
I see Taylor Bishop and Adam K. Welcome to everybody.
Spell Yell's back. A lot of new names I'm seeing.
Yeah.
We've got Jessica Brandenburg.
Emil Greer and is asking what is the intro song called. I think that is in the description below if you scroll down, and it's even credited to our good friend. He's slightly a terrorist, Kian.
Yeah.
But anyway, we won't get into that right now. If you're listening, Kian, don't blow anything up for the holidays, all right?
We love you, really.
Yeah, just stick to the music. It's a much healthier endeavor.
Here we go.
So what are we doing today?
Demonetized.
We're going to give away kind of Christmas special prizes today, which is basically anything that you want. Dear viewers, anything that you want from the Mysterious Store, one item for $100 or less. So you can head over to Mysterious and scroll around, and if you find something, say you wanted an old chaos necklace, that's under $100 and you could get that. So anything that's $100 or less, that would be art prints, that would be chaos coins. There are all kinds of cool stuff over there.
Moving rabbit ears.
I swear, this month we've sold so many moving rabbit ears. I feel like maybe we're in the wrong business and we ought to just be a moving rabbit ear shop.
Good.
Very strange. I think that's Google advertising pushing a lot of rabbit ears on people for some reason. Anyway, so that'll be today's Christmas present celebration. And thank you to you, all of our viewers. We will have 4 giveaways during today's stream. And if you do win, then you can, with your winning email submission, you can tell us which one item at Mysterious under $100 that you would like. And we will send that out to you.
We will.
What
the
else?
Instructions are below.
The instructions are below. They're pretty straightforward. You'd need to follow them in 24 hours. Is that what we say?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So what else are we doing today? We've got a bunch of art review type of stuff to go through.
Yeah.
There's a lot of art coming
There is
in,
a lot of art.
and there's some really cool art. We've got art that is bosses. We've got a lot of things exploring Hatter's domain. This is an image that our good friend Alex Crowley did as a design for a boss in the Judgment/Anger stage of Asylum, and he's been pushing me to talk about it. So Alex,
if you go back and forwards through the pictures, it kind of like an animation type.
Yes.
Rawr.
But Alex, this is for you. I'll have you note that is the first image on screen during today's live stream. So get bent. We will talk about that in a little while. We're also going to talk a little bit about Pirate Jam because we've got some interesting stuff going on there. We'll give a shout out to our sponsors. And
that.
I think we'll talk briefly about Yin's work on Mysterious Makeup. But yeah, lots of art and lots of Asylum stuff to talk
do
about.
some Patreon comments as well.
Oh yeah, we have a ton of Patreon comments. So I was actually thinking, and chat, you can tell me if I'm wrong here. Maybe we do the Patreon comments first today, because there's so many of them.
We could mix it up a bit.
And then you'll stick around for the art afterwards. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's my idea. Lulu, don't knock my microphone over. She's not going anywhere. She's seen, I swear, she sees that we hold the baby like this now all the time, and she's just like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be? All right. So let us jump first into Pirate Jam. I know that's not why most of you come here, but we did. Martin and I have spent a long number of days getting this ready to go and show to the world. And so we do want to show this off really quickly and also bring it to the attention of any game developers who might be watching the stream. So what is this, Martin?
This is the Pirate Jam pre-jam skirmish jam.
The pre-jam skirmish.
Jam.
No, the Pirate Jam pre-jam skirmish.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which is essentially, as you can see there's a timer counting down. So in just over 22 days, we will host this jam over on Itch. And as you can see there as well, the grand prize of winning this jam is to get to go to Pirate Jam free of charge. We'll pay it all.
Well, now, come on. Let's make sure we get the qualifiers in there, because you're going to get somebody who wins and says, you said you'd pay it all, and I had to buy these new sneakers, I had to buy this new laptop, I had to buy, to go to the jam. So
yes, there are some rules and stuff.
There are rules and restrictions. It does say that here. Rules and restrictions apply. It's funny, like when you run a contest where you give away real prizes, there's all kinds of legal things that you have to be very careful about in terms of promotion and in terms of the outline of like what it is people can do to participate in order to make it so you're not doing something illegal. I do believe that we have done all the right things in terms of setting this up. But if you are a game developer and you're interested in, we need to fix that. It's not really all expenses paid. We will pay for the economy class plane ticket, and you are at the event at Pirate Jam, and during the event, your expenses, like 95% of your expenses are paid for. But yeah, all the details and everything is here. When does this kick off?
January 10th.
Yes, it's a weekend game jam, January 10th to January 12th. Now, this is an online game jam, and it's using a website called itch.io.
That's where all the jams are hosted.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who run online jams via Itch. Is the link even here?
Yeah, it's a little lower down.
Right. Well, anyway, we'll put it in the description below. If you go over to itch.io, I mean, this is the Itch page, but if you go over to itch.io, you can punch in Pirate Jam, or you look at the calendar and you'll find it listed there.
Pre-Jam Skirmish 2020. Search that.
Yeah. And it's not just the plane tickets we're giving away. What else are we giving away, Martin? Tell the people what they'll win.
Yeah. Well, if you're not lucky enough to win the grand prize, we do have 50 runner-up prizes, comprising of this glorious selection you can see. Some waterproof bags, which are quite snazzy, actually. The awesome Pirate Jam doubloons, made out of real metal.
Those are super cool. I mean, if any of you have the Chaos coins, then you kind of have a sense of the types of coins we're able to produce. And this year's design for the Pirate Jam coins, we're actually going to put this octopus wheel design onto the coin. And I've seen the mock-ups for this, and there's just an amount of detail in there that's really cool. And the coins this year are a little bit bigger.
Ooh.
And so I think we're getting 60 millimeter coins instead of 50 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but they look really cool. So 50 people who participate in this jam will get a coin. And then it's a smaller number will get bags and pads. But if you participate and you're in the top 50 of the games that we select and that qualify, then you will get a Pirate Jam coin, which is a doubloon.
What a fantastic pre-jam jam.
Well, we're doing this because we want to bring attention to Pirate Jam. I think that one of the things I've struggled with is how to advertise a game jam like this when there are so many game jams going on in the world. You know, Itch is a really good example of the fact that at any given moment, there's like dozens of game jams happening. And yet we kind of feel like there probably is not any other sailing game jam in the world except Pirate Jam. And, you know, we think it's special. We want people to join in and have fun, but it's really difficult getting the word out through the noise of all the sort of typical game jams, right? So
there is, if you look at the calendar, there's always a massive amount of jams at any one time.
Right. And, you know, Pirate Jam's pretty special. There's 10 days aboard a fleet of sailboats in Thailand, and people from around the world who join in, you know, game developers who join in. We sail, we swim, we play games, we make games, we explore all these amazing tropical locations. People who go to this event, many of them come around or come back from it saying that it was a life-changing experience for them, really opened their eyes to the world and to different cultures, and also kind of opened them up creatively as well. So I think that, you know, if you're a game developer and you're up for an online jam, which might lead to a life-changing real-world jam, then yeah, go check that out.
Well, here we have a comment from Nina Maiku. Sounds so fun. I'm an aspiring game developer. Still have a long way to go before being able to claim game dev status. You don't have to be a game dev to join. I mean, you need some kind of skill in a game creating engine would be great, but you don't have to actually be an official game developer.
Well, there's no such thing. I mean, it'd be like saying that we've opened up a writing competition and that somehow you have to have the official label of writer.
Only published authors can join this writing competition.
Yeah, no. So this contest and Pirate Jam in general, it's open to everyone. So you don't have to, you know, be world's best game developer in order to join in any of this. You just need to be able to simply open up. Game Maker is actually a pretty easy engine in which to develop games that, you know, kids are making games in some of these programs in a day, and there's nothing to say that a game made in an application like Game Maker that only takes you 24 hours to make, that could win. I mean, look at Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird was developed, if I remember correctly, the story was that the guy who made Flappy Bird made it in a day, almost as a kind of joke, and it went on to make millions of dollars. So yeah, there's nothing to say that you know, you have to be a game developer or you even have to, you know, have massive skills to enter into these things.
Yeah.
And somebody else says, is this open to students? Open to everybody. It's a worldwide. The only place where it's void is where contests like this are void by law. So if you live in a country where, for whatever reason, you're not allowed to participate in a contest that gives away a plane ticket to an event, then that's out of our control. But
it does say this in the rules.
It has to say this in the rules. Lulu, you're really interested in knocking my microphone down today.
Don't be a derp.
Yeah. So yeah, go nuts if you are a student, if you are an aspiring wannabe, maybe not quite official game developer. Who cares? Go nuts.
Go nuts. I saw. Other than this, I think Priscilla Nosoma has become a member.
Wow, one of us.
Yes, join us.
Welcome, Priscilla.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
I think this dog is not going anywhere today.
And what was the super chat?
A lot of comments going on here.
There's Truth Decay. Thank you for that. Dabbing contest at Pirate Jam 2020. Here's my donation for the first prize winner.
I thank you, Truth Decay. I appreciate the support, and that'll be put to good use. Yes, actually, we do have to buy somebody a plane ticket, so your donation can go to help do that.
And, you know, do some beach dabbing as one of the games that you play. Truth Decay paid for it, so you have to do it.
What are you doing? Huh? Are you trying to hide, snuggle in my arm? Just, you know, come on. So, yes, we got Truth Decay. Thank you very much. Wow, we're getting a bunch of new members suddenly. Welcome, Akira Yuji.
Akira loves
Saruji.
Ryuji. Welcome.
This unlikely gamer.
That's an easy one to say. Welcome.
Welcome to both of you, and happy holidays.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, so did we say we're going to do comments first?
We are.
Okay.
We are. We're going to do comments.
Right.
So these are comments made by our patrons over on Patreon, which is what we use to support all the art and all the cool stuff that's getting made that you're going to see today. So if you are interested in becoming a patron, links are in the description below. You can head over to Patreon and check out all the stuff that we're doing there. And keep in mind that all of the posts that we share early with our patrons do, after 3 days, open up to the public. So even if you're not a patron, you can go keep up to date with all the art, story, design stuff that we're doing.
Okay, sounds good. These comments were from one of the latest Pins and Plushies posts.
All right.
That we did. Recently we've been looking for ideas for a third plushie. So Jesse Street, Jesse Saint, Jesse ST says, don't get me wrong, I like the Asylum Alice plush idea, but I like the denial dress more. I would love the Asylum version for myself, but my 4-year-old want to have the denial dress. Yeah, as you can see on screen, American, and me to some extent, are kind of a big fan of shaved head Alice in the old straight jacket to do as a plush, but it's not really the word I'm looking for. We're not really getting a unanimous decision on this over on Patreon. It's kind of splitting people whether they like this or not.
It's not just Patreon, it's also amongst our team. And I think we can talk a little bit here about why and what's going on. We had previously brought this up, and I'll show you what our team Trello looks like. There's quite a lot of stuff, tons of stuff written here, actually. So, we had looked at this Asylum Alice concept, and then we also put forth this, I think this is the denial dress. And we actually opened it up to voting by Patreon, by patrons, and our patrons pretty heavily voted towards this denial dress Alice.
Yep.
I have to admit that I have a bias. I like the Asylum doll a lot better. And I think that the Asylum doll put next to the Cheshire Cat and the rabbit, to me, it's just a kind of a darker, kind of more fun collection that is something I would have put on my desk or on my monitor or something like that. Yep. And so we kind of left this alone once we got the Cheshire Kitten out, and we kind of going to do a smaller promotion, which is the enamel pins. We'll get to those later. And then now that the enamel pins are basically done in terms of design, we started coming back to this and thinking like, well, what's this going to be? So we've been looking at the existing plush toys that are out there on the market, kind of cute, creepy, I guess spoopy is the word. And then we revived the design of the Asylum Alice. Now, one of the things I like about Asylum Alice is she doesn't have hair, so we don't have to deal with hair. And again, I think she's creepy and she's kind of fun, and I feel like she would look really good next to the cat and the rabbit. There's another thing about her. It's this kind of lack of detail. Like, we don't have to get the details super correct for a human face. And there's concern that on a doll this size, any attempt to make the face anything other than kind of cartoony and cute is going to fail. And so, Jennifer had put up some examples here of non-realistic but still kind of creepy cute faces, which is where she was drawing inspiration for this doll. Here's some Nightmare Before Christmas small dolls, as reference as well. So we did put this up again to our insane children. It feels like there's still a lot of comments coming in saying people really don't like the straitjacket Asylum Alice, and some people do, but people are still pushing for kind of a more classic dress or traditional dress. Yeah, so it's not decided yet, and we are also now starting to talk about other potential designs. Jennifer wrote and said, hey, maybe we should just abandon the idea of Alice altogether and do something cutesy as a companion, perhaps a little mock turtle doll.
Yeah, she said mock turtle, caterpillar, or oyster girl were her suggestions.
Right. Before we continue and jump into this, did we get Lucas's?
We didn't get this one out of the way.
Let's do that.
Thank you for this super chat. I just graduated from media design school and I have no idea what to do with my degree.
Well, that's not what school does. School doesn't usually prepare you for knowing what to do with yourself once you've got the degree. And that's, I think, in my view, it's one of the problems that comes along with school is that we think like, hey, I'll go to school to get a degree and all my problems will be solved. And in fact, you oftentimes come out of school. I had a lot of friends like this who came out of school and without any real world experience found it very difficult to find that initial job. Like me, I never went to school, and I actually ultimately felt that that was an advantage, as odd as it sounds, but it's because I got to start working like properly as an adult at the age of 16. And so I'd learned quite a bit about, office politics and personalities and about work ethic and about different types of personalities that you find while you're working. I mean, by the time my friends were graduating from university, I'd had like, well, I can't add because I didn't go, but I had quite a few years of experience over them, even though my math skills are terrible. So I would say, yeah, that's a pretty common complaint, Lucas.
You'll figure it out.
You will figure it out. Get out there. My recommendation would be get out there and just go to work. Start working. If you can't find the thing that's directly connected to media design to start with, do that on the side and find a gig that pays you decent money and save up a bunch of money, because that's another thing I see people do is they go out into the world and they never build a cushion for themselves. And if you don't have a cushion, you can't say no to bad offers. So, yeah.
Wise words.
Alrighty, let's get into these comments. We have one more super chat
from Mario X Films YT. Sounds like a YouTube channel. 3,000 clup.
Chilean
Lira
lovely pesos.
Chilean lovely pesos.
Yes, Chilean lovely pesos.
Thank you for the lovely pesos. Hi from Chile. Hi from Shanghai. Yeah, cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Mario. All right. So we had quite a few comments about plushes. People saying it's not cute, says Nina. Ghibli Girl says, I love it. Nelly, Denial Dress way more. The older version is much better, says Bruna. So yeah, it's my issue here, and I think we talked about this. I'd like there to be as much of a consensus, a majority consensus on what we do next. I don't want to go forward on a design where it's kind of like everybody's 50-50 split.
Yes, because there is a little upfront cost involved with this stuff, and you want to be kind of reasonably sure that people want what you're doing.
Yeah. So Jennifer, who is the one building these designs, says, I'm biased to the desktop size straitjacket Alice. I'm with you. I keep thinking that, like, I'm afraid to pick up this cat because Lulu's going to go crazy, but I keep thinking that something, you set alongside this cat on your desk. Hey, no, that's not for you to chew on. But, it's a good size. You can imagine this cat next to an Asylum Alice, I think would be quite a nice little set. Lulu, that is not for you. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this, but see what else we've got going on here. People like the Cacodemon plush, says Mr. Curios. Taylor likes Asylum Alice.
You, Taylor?
It's a tough one.
It is.
But I assume you've got some other
comments
here.
What do we got here? Fred and Desiree, some of my regulars. Classic dress, please. Grumpy Explorer. I love this Alice plush more than the classic dress. It sends me good vibes. So there you go, Grumpy Explorer liking Asylum shaved head Alice. However, Christine Phillips, not a fan of the Asylum doll at all. Would love it if she was in one of her dresses. Ooh, what else we got? Maren Maguire. Love the Asylum doll in theory, but I'm not digging this design. Perhaps the lack of hair. Could you take it in a different direction? Do it late stage Asylum. Hair in late stage Asylum?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was the scene where, well, I don't know. Every time I've seen her in that hospital gown or in the straitjacket, she's got, short hair or bald head, shaved head. But it the idea of hair on the head here defeats one of the purposes that I think makes this attractive, this design, in that it's bald headed. It's much easier for us to produce a plush toy with no hair than to produce a plush toy with hair. In fact, I think you can see on the screen here, that is probably what's being referenced. Is this, she's got a little bit of hair.
All right.
Right. Which I think is what we saw when she was walking around that scene in Madness Returns. But I like this better. I like the dollhouse stage where she was. Lulu, is your licking going to get picked up by the microphone and sound disgusting?
Maybe.
People are going to wonder what Martin's doing while the camera's not turned on. All right, let's not do that. Let's not do that. No, don't bite either. So I like this kind of bald-headed ball-headed.
Ball-headed doll.
Whatever. You know what I mean. But yeah, the lack of hair makes the production easier. So that's something to keep in mind while we're voting on things like this. There's also an issue of complexity in the design, and this is something I saw Priscilla. Hello, Priscilla. Welcome to the live stream. We missed your pushback, your resistance. Without a bit of resistance, there's no real point in life. So Priscilla says, what about the Hatter, the three most iconic characters? Now, I had actually mentioned the Hatter to the design team as well. This is, though, going to the point about complexity. When we talk about making a little plush doll like this, the factory that made this, which is the same factory that made the rabbit — we don't have a rabbit sat here — I feel like this is the limit of the complexity that they're able to achieve, which is, we were really pushing them on this in terms of their use of material to capture the face and details. And you think about the Hatter, he's got that hat, he's got that crazy nose, he's got, supposedly he should have the gear on his back. That's a lot of stuff that this factory wouldn't be capable of doing. For the smaller number of items we're producing too, I'm concerned that the complexity would drive the cost to a place that maybe people wouldn't be interested in it. I don't know.
Maybe. Good point.
Anyway, it's something we're going to explore. We'll definitely explore it. So thank you for that thought, Priscilla. I'm with you. I actually think a Hatter doll would be perfect in this set. It's just the complexity and cost issue that's causing me to hesitate on that, but we'll explore it.
All right. Brenda Wolf says, love my Cheshire and Bunny plushies, but when it comes to Alice, I wonder if we could get a posable figure like the one Figma makes. Could come with accessories. Love the art on the game, etc.
Do you know Figma?
I've heard the name, but I wouldn't say that I'm some sort of Figma expert.
Right. Let's see. It looks like there's a collaborative interface tool called Figma. I'm guessing that's
probably not it.
No. Oh, there we go. So these appear to be kind of more plastic, nylon, or resin. These are cast figures. I could be wrong, but these don't look very cuddly or plush or soft. And I do have experience with friends who worked in this business for quite some years on what it takes to get one of these made, and also to have it be of decent quality. And as you can see here, this is $80 for a plastic toy. Now, one of the reasons is that just the mold and the model, so you have to sculpt this, and just the sculpting process is tens of thousands of dollars. And then there's the mold creation. The mold also costs tremendous amounts of money. And then during manufacturing, you make and you assemble, and that process per item can be, $10+. And so when you produce something like this, you have to be able to spread it out across, say, you have to think that you could sell maybe 1,000, 2,000 of them at $80 in order to even break even, never mind have it sort of not lose money, right? So that's something to keep in mind for this. It's one of the reasons why we've so far kind of focused on plushes, because we're trying to stay inside of a certain price range. Now, if everyone out there told me, hey, you're dumb, we are more than happy to pay 120 euros for a really massively detailed thing, and there's about 2,000 of us out here who would buy that, okay.
Yeah, maybe there'd be a thing there. Some of those look really good though, don't they?
Well, of course. I mean, you know that the amount of work and the effort, the detail that goes into the modeling on something like this is mental. This kind of model for this Bloodborne figure, I mean, this could have taken this artist months to do, to get right. That's not to say that we're not spending months on, say, something like the Cheshire Plush, but that's us, all of us, sort of devoting little bits of time here and there, and we're looking at samples. This is a very detailed and involved process. Again, I had friends that worked at a company called Gentle Giant. My friend Digger was pretty legendary as a sculptor for these kinds of toys. So, I mean, I've seen directly companies that were made and died off of just one wrong move in this space, just because the investment levels are so high and the risk is so high that if you make some of these toys, 10,000 or 20,000 run of them, and you don't sell them, oops, bye-bye, you're out of business.
Risky.
Very risky. All right. I've gotten rid of Lulu, finally. She's run away. So I think it's time to give away a prize. Not that those two things are very much connected, but it is that time.
It is. We kind of missed it by 7.
So
8 minutes.
Why don't you tell us what it is you are celebrating, wherever it is that you are celebrating in the chat. Now, remember, we don't know if this is true or not, but don't spam the chat. Don't repeatedly say it over and over again. You only need to say the thing once in order for Nightbot to see that you're there and that you are eligible. And we will then ask Nightbot to randomly select one of you to win the prize, and that prize is you get to choose anything that is $100 or less from the mysterious shop, and we will send it to you as a free gift.
We're just so good to them.
We are. I don't know. I mean, do other live streams do this? I've always wondered that. I watch a lot of live streams. I guess I've seen a few of them doing, like, Electro Boom gives away oscilloscopes.
Yeah.
And some of the camera, I guess that's not true. A lot of the video and camera, like Peter McKinnon, those guys, they a lot of times are giving away equipment. So anyway, we're not the only ones doing it, but we're the only ones doing it with our stuff, with mysterious stuff. So there you go.
It's true.
So what's going on? People are celebrating Hanukkah in the U.S., says David Soffer. Wendy Jaw is celebrating Christmas. Real Pimpcade is celebrating Yo, long time no see.
Favorite holiday.
Festivus says Truth Decay.
Echo Waters is having a birthday.
Woo, happy birthday.
Woo woo.
I just had a birthday, and Yen's mom just had a birthday, and we also just celebrated Lucky's 100th birthday.
Also Christmas. Horizon Brave having a late Halloween, it seems.
Sinister Star is celebrating Booty. I didn't
Just
know
celebrate that every day.
Is that a holiday? Christmas in Montana, says Voodoo Isle. Taylor is celebrating Christmas down, or Christmas. You guys are confusing Taylor and Taylor appearing next to each other. So Taylor is saying it's almost time for Christmas, and Taylor is doing Christmas down under. Mate.
Yule. Another birthday here.
Priscilla is celebrating Yule. Is that because Priscilla is in like Denmark or Norway? It's kind of their northern European version of Christmas. It was like the ancestral beginnings of Christmas. Is that right, Priscilla?
Let us know.
She'll have to let us know.
Lycard my December baby's birthday.
Wow.
Did you ever know anyone whose birthday was on Christmas Day?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Our friend Garn, who is in Thailand and who helps out with Pirate Jam every year, she is a Christmas Day baby. So we're both in December. We're both almost the same age, but I'm on the 13th of December and she is on 20 whatever. I don't even know what day Christmas is. I told you I didn't.
25th, I think.
Look, I didn't go to school.
I'm not good with dates.
I'm not good. Stay in school, kids. All right, let's see what Nightbot has to say about this. All right, Anna Lepper. It's funny because I called out Anna's name before the live stream started, and I said to Martin, I wonder if there's a joke that she gets told about being named Leper. And that's not to make a joke at you, Anna. It's just to point out the fact that I actually said your name out loud before we hit the live button, and here you are winning.
Maybe Nightbot was
listening, and Nightbot is having a bit of a laugh right now.
There you go, Anna. Well done,
Anna. You get to choose anything that you like from the mysterious shop for $100 or less, one item. And the way that you claim your prize is in the description below. And Merry Christmas and Yule and Hanukkah and Festivus and Booty. Merry Booty to you.
Merry Booty Day.
Merry Booty Day. Alrighty, let's go on with our questions from our patrons.
Well, the last one I have from that particular post is a little off topic, from Austin Cook, saying, loves the Asylum, Alice, but then also goes on to say, I love what Dario is doing with the landscape arts, and gives you a belated happy birthday.
All right, well, that gives us a little bit of a transition really quickly. We can just take a look at what he's referencing there. Dario is our newest addition to...
Our latest, newest.
Didn't we look at this stuff in the last live stream? Did we look at this in the last live? I feel like he's been on board long enough that we've looked at his stuff.
For sure.
A little bit already. Anyway, Dario. You say Dario or Dario?
Dario.
Don't look at the paper. It's not like it's...
Yeah, what am I looking for? What am I looking at the paper for? Like I've written down how to pronounce his name or something.
So I would call him... Not Dario. I'd call him Dario. Dario. Anyway.
Like Mario. But then again, people call him Mario sometimes.
Yeah,
So
anyway, he is the latest addition to our art team. And again, his ability to be on our team is empowered by our Insane Children over on Patreon. So thank you very much to the Insane Children for allowing us to add more cool artists to the team. Now, Dario is working on... He's really good with landscape and location illustrations, although I think he probably is pretty good at everything. I've seen some of his little character sketches and they're really good. He's though helping us right now to explore Hatter's Domain, so we will get into some of this in a little bit. I can't remember, did we show this off, or was that just in a Patreon post?
Not that I showed this one
off? Okay, so this I think we showed off was the Queen's Castle, Queen of Hearts Castle. Now he's managing to do what I've been begging our art team to do, which is to show Wonderland in this sort of blown apart chaos state where everything is floating out there and fragmented, and it's like, yes, it's finally happening. So yeah, I'm really happy that Dario's on board. Anyway, we'll get back to some more of Dario's art in just a little while. Continuing on with comments from our patrons.
Well, these comments were from the Pins and Monthly Drawings Patreon post we did.
Alrighty.
In this post, I remember you mentioned that the actual signing of prints takes a little while.
It does.
I have to find time to do it, which is why sometimes the prints are a little on the delayed side going out.
It's funny you'd mention that, because I also remember that Wendy J, who's in the chat, she said something along the lines of, well, maybe you ought to consider not signing them.
That's the comment I have right here.
All right. Well, I think that's a funny comment, and it deserves a little bit of explanation. Wendy, it turns out, I don't know if anybody knows this, we don't actually sell art prints. Did you know that?
Yes.
We don't sell or send out or anything art prints. We actually sell my signature. This is I know it sounds kind of funny, but it's the truth. And it's what a lot of artists in my position do, because a lot of people who say worked on the Marvel movies but don't have themselves the right to the license of the Marvel content go to various festivals and comic book conventions and cosplay conventions, and they're able to sell things that they sign, because you as an artist, though you're not the creator, or maybe you're the creator but you don't have the license to that kind of merchandise selling, you cannot be limited by law from self-promotion. So in essence, everything that we do is a form of self-promotion, at least under the law of, you know, how these kind of artists go out to these conventions, sell a piece of marketing material, whether it's a book or a poster or a photo of themselves in character, and they sign it. You'll see that on the table there, it oftentimes will say signature this, signature that, signature, because that's what's on sale.
It's a sneaky way of getting around things.
Yes. So if you get something from me, most of the time there's something about it that's become signature. What are you doing there, huh? You want to come back to the live stream? Having so much fun. So anyway, Wendy, that's one of the reasons why I spend so much time signing things, is because of that reason. Also, just because otherwise you could just download the images from Patreon. I mean, we regularly upload huge files that you could download and print yourself, but I think what makes them collectible and special is the fact that the time is taken to sign them. So,
yep. Well, Steffi Lynn, replying to Wendy, actually says something that we talked about in the past and then said no to. Just make a stamp.
Yeah. We've actually talked about that. There are like auto signers that it's like a robotic pen. So you program it to sign, and then you can just pop things under it, which means that you can hire someone to slide art prints under it, and it'll sign them. But I feel that's cheating in a way.
Little bit.
And I also think it's kind of funny, like if you get art prints from us, you'll notice, like if you've got several of them, you'll notice that my signature varies a little bit, and you'll also notice that the pens, because these paint pens we use, you can only sign about 50 posters or 100 posters with them before they begin to the tip goes all squishy and the ink runs out. So you'll probably notice sometimes like one poster looks really crisp and clear, and I might sign another one where it looks all kind of squishy and so anyway, I don't know, I figure that's like part of the value proposition.
I think so. So no to stamps.
No.
Ray Weatherford super chatted during that. Thanks, Ray. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, Ray.
And also, Ray's grandson shares a birthday with you. So happy birthday to your grandson for a few days back.
I think I saw that commented over on Facebook, Ray, and happy birthday to your grandson. And thank you for the kind wishes in both places. I got so many comments and messages on Facebook. I mean, there was nothing I could do with them other than just dismiss, because there's like 1,000 messages flooding in and there's no way to respond to them all. So maybe I need an auto signer for that.
Going back to the comments, talking about the pins that we're doing. No, prints, sorry, still prints. Sayo doesn't mind waiting for prints. So, I mean, we never delay too long.
It's usually not that bad, but I think people would be surprised like just how many hours it takes to do the process each month, especially if we're sending out say like 300 or 500 prints. It's a lot of physical stuff to be done to like lug the prints and sign the
fiddly,
prints,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So like sign them and then put them to the side and roll them and seal them and get the tubes and put the tissue in and seal the tubes and print the. There's
the printing, there's sorting. You have to do all the data sorting of all the label information, and then we have to do. I mean, it's kind of a little factory around here. It's quite funny. And these days, Yen's mom is a big part of the final process, because Martin and I still handle a lot of the mysterious stuff, but Yen's mom handles the bulk of the Patreon poster packing, so she's actually become quite proficient at that.
Excellent. So here we go into the pins. Angel Ellis saying the pin designs look great. Can't wait to get them.
So This is for the enamel pins.
The enamel pin goal, which should be coming up around February-ish time on Patreon.
Somehow I don't have the picture here in my art print folder, but I'm sure we've got it.
The Patreon, it's like the next post down or something.
So what is the status though with the pin factory? I know you've been talking with them a bit.
There it is. Yep. So everything's going ahead. They've been given the designs. They sent us back this. They actually did mildly edit these designs to sort of fit in with the complexity that their machines can do, but they're almost untouched. So hopefully when they send us like some pictures of the molds and whatever they're doing, it's all going to look great. And we've also decided that with each of the sets we're doing, we're sending along a little baggie of an Allen key and lockable clasps. So there's going to be 5 little clasps in this bag. So you could have lockable backs on every pin. So that's nice.
So this is the pins on the backing cards. So this is the now I think we might have changed up this. Does it still say limited edition? Yeah, I think it does. But this is the standard set of 4. Yeah. The Hatter Hat, the Cheshire Cat, the Insane Children, and the Undersea Hobby Horse. And then that is probably the
back of that one.
Right. So you'll see the backer bits, the back bits there. And then this is the front of the standalone. Now this is kind of exclusive-ish, but like we said, don't get your panties in a bunch if you see us giving them away, but I think we're going to try not to sell them, right?
Yeah, try and keep them a little special.
Yeah, so if you're a patron during the month when we do the promotion, you will get these, and then we'll probably give them away as prizes during the live streams and stuff like that. So
yeah,
if you miss your chance to get one on Patreon, there will still be somehow some way to get it. And this is the back of that one. And now they're all going to come with the standard pins, and then there'll be a little baggie of the locking pins as well.
Yeah, so they're all going to have little standard rubber clasps on the back.
Right.
But yeah, we're sending along a bag full of locking clasps as well, if that takes your fancy.
Those look pretty cool. Now that was somebody said that maybe that was a bit of feedback during the crowd design. Someone said, "Oh, for such amazing, for such amazing creations, we ought to have." Let's see. I'm trying to type in and.
Clasp? Try clasp.
No, that's not it. Anyway, there was somebody who said, "Hey, you're creating such cool." Here we go. Creating such cool. What's these enamel pins? I can't talk. And I'd be afraid we're going to lose them. So can you include these things? Lapel pin, locking pin back, aka a pin keeper. Can you include these things in with the set? And so the answer was, we'll look into it. And we did look into it. And after a little bit of wrestling with the manufacturer,
just a little,
we succeeded in getting these included. And there's actually going to be enough of these for every pin in these sets, right?
Right. There's going to be 5 clasps included.
Right. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is our first time making enamel pins. And I'll say, like, from a business perspective, these are not great. I mean, the cost to manufacture and all the kind of fiddliness that we had to go through in order to get to the point where we can offer them or sell them, not my favorite. I felt like other things we've worked on kind of had a better flow and a higher return, but whatever, you know, we'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll learn a few lessons, and then if they do really well, we'll make more.
Think so.
All right.
Lee Ann Cleland said, loves the look of the pin designs, and the packaging for the pins is delightfully morbid, which it is. And also goes on to say what we talked about for this Patreon post. Monthly drawings.
Oh, yeah.
Drawings.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Was it Simon? Here's my drawings.
That is Simon. I can't believe you'd never seen that before. Martin had never seen Simon Drawers on the old Saturday Night Live skit with Mike Myers.
It's an American TV show.
And
How would I have seen that when I was younger?
That when I was a kid, that was where we got all of our English culture, our British culture from. So if you've never seen Drawings with Simon, go YouTube that and you'll understand what my view of British people is. Laugh.
But anyway, this is basically something new that we're going to be doing in 2020. At the beginning of each month, roughly or probably around the 5th-ish.
The 5th, I think we said.
A week into the month,
right,
when people have had a chance to be charged, so we know that they're patrons. We're going to do like a raffle, drawing names from a virtual number generating hat. And
that's right.
Yeah, what do we say? A number of patrons. We think probably 5. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, some patrons just will get given stuff each month.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of the Patreon channels that I follow, they do a monthly giveaway. If it's a smaller channel, they have like 200 or 300 patrons. They might give away one thing to one patron per month. But it seems to kind of make people happy, and I guess it helps with retention, and I don't know. So we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I did see that Nellie Luckett asked if these pins are going to be black and white or black and silver. The answer to that, Font Lord.
I believe they're probably going to be black and silver.
So they're supposed to be black enamel on the black parts you see here, and silver. I guess it's a kind of pewter color. I don't know. It's whatever. It's not silver like the precious metal, but it's going to look silverish.
Yep. So there you go. Monica Jabrowski loves the pins and the idea of the giveaway. Of course, who wouldn't like the idea of potential free stuff? But actually, it seemed they got the idea of when we said there's going to be monthly drawings, they got it wrong. They think they have to draw something to be in with a chance of winning.
Huh. That's an interesting misinterpretation.
You don't have to do drawings, Monica. It's just another English name for names from a hat. So there you go. Rachel Garza, the backing cards for the pins look great as usual. I kind of wrote this wrong, but I think they mean Alex is doing great. Don't sweat about us taking a lot of time for doing stuff. Getting prints out, just bigging us up, really. Saying very nice of us to do this on Patreon. Thanks, Rachel. Glad you appreciate it. So, do you want to carry on with comments, or should we go into some art stuff and we'll leave some more comments for the end?
Well, we can pull. Let's do this Alchemy dress post because the piece of art is ready to go.
All right.
So I think you do that at the same. We do them at the same time. They can go together.
Okay.
Did
just see a super chat.
I saw that, but let me just load up this Alchemy dress. There we go. Now you can do your super chat because I think it's directed at you.
Ooh. Deadly Alien Invader. Thank you for the super chat.
$4.99.
Is the Harry Potter sounding mother farter related to Will Stamper? I am not.
Who's Will Stamper?
Who's Will Stamper?
That's a good question.
I mean, maybe I am. I don't know who Will Stamper is.
I guess we're going to go and Google Will Stamper. I always thought you were related to Scotty.
Vaguely familiar. What's he been in?
Clearly nothing big enough.
No.
Will Stamper with hair. Okay, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man, is the answer.
I'd never heard of Will Stamper before. Is he a YouTube person? Stamper, Game Grumps.
An IMDb page.
He's a Game Grumps person.
Is he?
There you go.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I've heard this name before. Okay, well, he's from a blog called The Behemoth. So there you go.
Hey.
Yes, Deadly
thingy.
Alien thing. All people with British accents are related to one another.
True.
Alrighty. So we are going to move on to this. So this is the latest new dress design from Omri, and this came about because of our explorations of Hatter's Domain. And spoiler warning, because if you've not been listening to some of the stuff I'm about to say, you may be in for a shock. I don't know. But what we've been exploring is the idea that Hatter manages to blow up part of his domain, or his entire domain, through his experiments with alchemy. And his experiments in alchemy are meant to... What do you want to say it? He's trying to kind of discern the nature of the reality of Wonderland, because he starts to realize that something about their Wonderland is weird. It's broken. I think what we've talked about before is there's a kind of Groundhog Day thing going on, that Alice is stuck inside of this reality. Now, we've also talked about the fact that that reality will eventually be revealed as one where they are literally inside of this, well, not literally, they are surreal literally inside of this massive snow globe. So remember there was this Stephen King novel, it's called Under the Dome. There was a TV show made out of it as well.
The TV show was okay, but then it went poop and I stopped watching.
Yeah, so I mean, I remember reading the book. I thought the book was pretty good. I thought the TV show, I think I watched it to the end. But anyway, a similar kind of theory that, you know, you've got a whole society, a whole world, and characters living inside of this dome. And in that show, they were aware of it, obviously. But in this reality, in Alice's reality, she's been stuck inside this thing so long, and there's not enough sort of understanding of the nature of the reality for them to see that, hey, we're stuck in here, and it turns out we're actually stuck inside of this snow globe. So we're saying, yeah, she's stuck in there. She goes off to Hatter's Domain to try to understand what's gone wrong with their reality. And when she enters into his domain, because it's the domain of alchemy, which is the kind of chemistry and science of Wonderland, her dress changes to match where it is that she's going. Now, I actually think that throughout the journey in Asylum, the exploration of transformation is going to be very critical, very central to. I almost feel like this concept of Alice in the alchemy dress should be the concept in terms of who her character is, because her character in this whole story is a representation of the power of transformation, like how transformation through an encounter with chaos changes us, and usually for the better. I mean, sometimes it just kills us, but you know, some people are in situations where death is preferable to continued suffering. So anyway, this is the dress. And then Omri threw in kind of a fun idea, which is that prior to going to Hatter's Domain, Alice may visit the Queen of Hearts. Now, the Queen of Hearts is angry at the Hatter. We won't get into all that just now, but she does give to Alice a gift. She says to Alice, hey, take this gift, give it to Hatter, and you know, he'll know what to do with it. Now, I've got this idea that what's in there is a bottled up emotion, and we've also talked about that previously. And of course, the Hatter, or the Queen, her domain represents the anger that Alice feels in her PTSD, and so what she's bottling up is anger. So this is like literally a bottle of anger, and that Alice is going to take this to Hatter. Now, whether or not Hatter drinks it or uses it in an experiment, we haven't got there just yet, but I really like this idea of these pouches on the dresses, maybe on all of them, maybe just on this one, but where Alice can carry around bottled up emotions, because again, that is critical. The idea that we bottle up emotions and that later on Alice finds that she herself is bottled up inside of this giant snow globe, I think is going to be very central to the story and to the journey and to the ultimate resolution of what it is that she's doing in this game.
Okay.
That's what this dress is about. What are the other comments that we got from people?
Well, probably nothing as in-depth as that.
Well, all that's getting recorded, all that's going to be going into the story stuff that we're working on in the new year. I actually want to find something. While you read comments, I'm going to dig around over here on Twitter. So,
well, Catherine Alice North is saying the new hairstyle is better than the weird high loose ponytail. So these sort of like twirls. What would you call that hairstyle?
I'm not
twirls, perm. I don't know.
I'm not a hairstyle.
Me neither, surprisingly enough. H.J. Park says the dress is very awesome. Hair looks good too. HJ stands for?
You know, it's not H, right?
H.
It's really not. I promise you, when you go to buy a HD TV,
That's what you buy.
No, you're actually getting some piece of crap that, like, when you turn it on, it goes H, and nobody wants that. H. What is that? That's not a thing.
The H.
No, it's not a H.
Did you find what you're looking for?
I have. Okay. I'm going to show it off in a second here. Continue, sir.
Future dream. Not really a fan of the new hairstyle. Would love to see Alice with different color hair or in pigtails. Different color hair. Little modern, I think, for a Victorian girl, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I did see a lot of people commenting on various platforms, social media, Instagram, Facebook, about the hairstyle, and there were quite a few of them that were bothered by the hair and the hairstyle. So we need to collect a bit more information, especially from like our cosplayers. Now, I saw that some of the cosplayers were like, "Yes, H," for new hairstyles, because they want to be able to switch up what it is that they're doing with their hair and yet still remain in character. And of course, we do pay a lot of attention to our cosplayers. They do amazing work to support and continue the dream alive, keeping the dream alive. So let's see what everybody says. People in the comments, do you want more hairstyles? Do you not want more hairstyles? To think about.
This came in, didn't it? From Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Have you seen the film Cemetery Man? No. Very important snow globe reveal at the end.
Wow.
Ruined it now.
Yeah, Andrew, why would you do that?
I don't have to watch it now. I know that the snow globe did it.
Now we know. The snow globe killed them all. All right, well, we'll check out Cemetery Man. And thank you, Andrew, for that super chat and the $4.99. That actually gives us a great time. We're going to do a quick transition here. We're going to talk about our friends over at Freaky Fandoms, because that's who Andrew is. And this week's Freaky Fandoms. H-E Fandoms. All right, so Freaky Fandoms, they are our friends Andrew and Deborah, and they do have a podcast, which is also on Patreon, SoundCloud, iTunes, Instagram, YouTube.
They're everywhere.
Twitch, SoundCloud, Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere. And they do a weekly or semi-often review of all things kind of like horror, art, dark art, culture, books, music, games, you name it. And this week they got into a game called Blasphemous. Now, we had not really heard of Blasphemous, which is surprising because when I checked it out over on Steam, it actually looked like the kind of thing that we would like. And apparently the reviewers also like it. I can't get Blasphemous off my mind, says Destructoid. So apparently it's gorgeous, and it's amazing, and it's a Metroidvania with a fantastically realized setting and gorgeous, albeit barbaric aesthetic. And what's wrong with a barbaric aesthetic? That sounds like fun to me.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Look at it go.
Pretty amazing. Now, when I saw this, immediately what came to mind was Ghosts and Goblins.
Yep.
Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah. But we're going to have to go over and give a listen to Andrew and Deborah talking about Blasphemous in this week's podcast at Freaky Fandoms if we want to learn more. So we would recommend that you too, if you're a fan of people putting on spiky metal hats to gush all the blood out of their face veins, that would be the place to go learn more about that. And I think Freaky Fandoms, their links are in the description below.
If it's PS4, maybe I'll have a look at picking that up after I'm done with Fallen Order. Maybe I'll have a look.
But anyway, a big shout out to Freaky Fandoms. They do keep us going through their support over on Patreon. They are our biggest and longest running supporters. These guys have been supporting me way back for like a decade or something, all the way back. I think the first time I ran into them was Zombie or Akinero or something.
One of those things.
But yeah, there you go. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. We've not seen Cemetery Man, but we will try to give that a look at. Do we also have another sponsor we're doing a shout out for?
Okay, we'll do them at the same time. Yeah, we had another sponsor. Christina, one of our patrons, has created German fan pages for all Alice Asylum type thingies. Links in the description below.
It's called Alice Nightmares German.
Does what it says on the tin.
Exactly. If you go over to Facebook, it's Facebook/Alice Nightmares German. And they are collecting together a lot of the stuff that we're doing here, our various live streams, and they're also collecting interviews and art reviews, and they're translating a lot of that stuff for our German audience. There are quite a lot of German fans. It turns out we get a lot of orders at Mysterious from Germany. And so, yeah, if you are a German Alice fan, or you just want to hear Alice news in German, then
head on over.
There you go.
Even if you're not, just go over, give their page a like, show them some support.
Exactly.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So thank you to Christina and Alice Nightmares in German. Again, they're a big sponsor for us over on Patreon, and their support is what makes what we're doing. All this art and design and YouTube live streams and giving food to Lulu, they make all that stuff possible.
True dat.
All right.
Would you look at the time?
It is that time.
Ooh.
Let's make sure there's no more. Oops, there's
a super chat, but with no message.
Now we're getting a lot of comments rolling in. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything.
Go on then.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot that's really important in here, but I'm going to just scroll through really quickly. Comments on the dresses, the bottled up emotions people like quite a lot. Talking about hairstyle.
They're called ringlets.
Ringlets.
Sounds familiar.
We're also getting a bunch of comments, people talking about pigtails, shock white hair, says Jennifer Daw. All right, we're good.
Yeah. Anything else? HD.
I think
yes, we had a super chat from, how to say this, Zeralus Trumer. How I'd say it. But no message, unless they wrote something afterwards. Choices are always good, but a limit can be more immersive.
Very mysterious of you, Zeralus Trumer.
Very mysterious. Okay. To ponder that some more.
Yeah. Lady Lucifer says, I'm playing Blasphemous right now. Really beautiful pixel art and good lore. But does it also have good gore? That's what I want to know.
Probably, by the looks of what we just saw on the Steam page.
It does. Alrighty. So, where were we?
So, don't spam.
Oh, yeah. Contest time. It is contest time.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. What
is your favorite color?
Is this? Okay, you listening? Okay, write in the comments what that was.
Oh no. Can I go home now?
You can go home now.
What's happening? What's going on?
Well, we'll see if anyone knows.
Lulu, come back. I know what it is. I just think that it's...
Do you?
I don't want to say because I don't want to give it away, but
okay.
Yes, I do.
There you go. We already know.
Mm-hmm.
Zayden Reloxodge. They got it.
They're all doing snake jazz.
They all know.
Oh, is this because you were watching the new Rick and Morty? Okay. Because if I had thought about it, I would just say, yeah, it's the snare drum sizz of the start of most jazz sets. So apparently it's a Rick and Morty reference.
It's snake jazz.
It's a Rick and Morty reference I'm not going to get because I have not watched the latest episode yet. Thanks, Martin.
Martin is a snack.
Alrighty. So my childhood, aka Pink Panther, says Daniela. Apparently a lot of Rick and Morty.
So a good comment about the Pink Panther on one of these sort of like, people who just read Reddit comments. And it was like, somebody sent a message to someone. Was the Pink Panther a lion? So, and they're like, are you kidding me?
So this, Rachel Garza got one of the thoughts that I had, but I wasn't going to say it. It's a Rob Zombie song, and there's an intro, and I think it's Living Dead Girl. is the name of that song. It's the intro to one of his songs, and I think it's Living Dead Girl. If it's not Living Dead Girl, it's from that album. And Rachel and I are on the same wavelength, because when I heard you do that, the first thing that came to mind was that's the intro that it's at the start of one of those Rob Zombie songs on that album, but I can't remember it was.
Okay. Now
Right,
I know.
Let's ask Nightbot 2, 3, 2, 1. No Face.
No Face.
Congratulations, No Face. You have won the special Christmas Nightbot giveaway, and for Christmas we are of course allowing you to pick any one item from over at Mysterious that is of a value of $100 or less, which is quite a lot of stuff actually.
There is.
But you could choose an Out of the Woods card game. Now, I said to Martin before we started this, I was curious to see if people just go straight for like a $100 thing, or if people use this as a chance to get something they've always wanted but isn't necessarily at the maximum price, right? So if you are all about price maximization, you might go straight for like a $100 art print, but maybe you've had your heart set on a Vorpal Chaos wallet for a while, and okay, I'm gonna go, throw away $50 of value there, but I want that thing. So we'll see.
So yeah, No Face, say something if you know that you won. Otherwise, maybe a bit later we're gonna have to re-roll this, and then you're gonna feel so silly.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, No Face. If you do realize that you've won, scroll down to the description below. The instructions are there. Pick an item from Mysterious that is $100 or less. Follow the instructions. Do that within 24 hours, or else.
Or else.
All right. Where are we?
Where are we?
We were still doing Alchemy dress. Oh, and so I wanted to show off something about Hatter's Domain. Now, first of all, this is the Alchemy dress everyone knows and loves now, talked about quite a bit. And I think this is, fantastic. I love this dress. I don't know about the hair, but I love Hatter's Domain, and I love what we're doing with thoughts about her exploring the nature of the reality of Wonderland, and then discovering that they are in fact living inside of a giant crystal ball. Now, there is a piece of art that kind of shows off the crystal ball concept. Come on.
Oh, is it that?
Oh, there we go. Now, Omri, whatever. You know what, man? If you're going to write stuff like this on the art and leave it in the folder where it's the only high-res image I have to show off, then I'm going to show it off. But Omri has added a lot more fine detail to this image.
Snack.
A snack. Speaking of whatever. That snack head for the Jabberwock is just creepy.
It is.
Pretty amazing. Now, I think that's pretty cool. And there is the snow globe, the aforementioned snow globe. Now, I'm not sure if this piece of art is 100% just yet, but there is a what do you say, snitty comment?
Snitty?
Snitty. Isn't that a word?
Snarky?
Snarky?
Snarky.
Anyway, Omri's in here complaining about his cousin, who is the one that is the model that he used for this image. And then he goes on to talk about how Shelly, his cousin, is taller, thinner, prettier than me, and he can't go out publicly with her because everyone stares and nod at me. And then he uses the B word. Now Omri really likes the B word. He often signs off his emails to me with the B word. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, but it is on screen there. Cover your eyes, children. So anyway, he has a way about him that's pretty funny, and he seems to be able to get away with calling people that. I think it's he's how do you I don't know how do you explain that it fits in with his character?
Do you have to be fabulous to be able to get away with it?
Yes, I think that makes sense.
Right.
Omri is fabulous, and so he has license to call people that word. So if you have a look at Omri here, there he is. He's cosplaying as
Harley Quinn.
Yeah. And I feel that any guy who can pull off a Harley Quinn can call me the B word, and I'm not going to say much about it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that piece of art, we were here for the piece of art. There's the snow globe, and there is Omri's snitty. That's the word I want. Comment about his cousin, Shelly. Hi, Shelly. We're sorry that Omri calls you names. Anyway, I love this. Can't wait for the comments to be removed and for the dress and stuff to be fixed up. But this is not what I really wanted to talk about. What I really wanted to talk about was... Hold on a second. I got to go find this. So the other piece of art that Omri did that's related to all this is called Blade. Well, it's not called Blade Face. I call it Blade Face.
We call it Blade Face.
So Blade Face, aka looking in the shadows, is also very connected to this whole concept of living inside of a snow globe and the experiments that Hatter's doing. And I'm going to explain all this in just a second. So you can see this image has the vorpal blade, except it's kind of see-through.
It has that quality, but it's not. It's just very shiny.
Says Martin authoritatively. It's not, says Martin.
We talked about this.
The maintainer of canon, the lord of the
We talked about this about a month ago.
The lord of the lore, says Martin. It's not.
Have you changed your opinion again?
So, behold, the crystal vorpal blade.
Ooh.
It is actually transparent. This, I think, to me, is a revelation for the story. And again, spoilers. I mean, I recommend you run away, you poke out your ears with chopsticks or something, or whatever is culturally correct for where you live. It could be a fork or a knife, or maybe you eat with your hands. Poke out your ears with your fingers. I don't care. But anyway, if you don't want to be damaged by spoilers, do the thing. You've got 3, 2, 1. All right, so this is the crystal vorpal blade. Now, this is actually, to me, something that when I saw it, when I saw it in the painting, that the illustration I showed you a second ago that Omri did, there was a kind of ringing around the narrative that I thought, I like this. I know that there's a connection to the nature of this skewed reality, and there's this weird version of the vorpal blade that only exists inside the snow globe. But I wasn't really sure exactly how or why. And then it struck me that this is the totem, it's the signal, it's the message, the tool that Alice outside of the snow globe manages to push through the barrier and hand to or drop in front of little Alice, young Alice, who's trapped in the snow globe. So if you imagine that everything that comes through that barrier transformed, and then you end up with these crazy tools which are incredibly powerful because they're not of this reality. They're not of the snow globe reality. And when we finally get over to Hatter's domain and you think like, whoa, man, you really blew this place up. I mean, what the hell are you thinking? You totally demolished your corner of Wonderland. Somewhere jabbed into one of these rocks is that blade. And we're going to think to ourselves, oh, Hatter and his silly experiments, he blew up his domain. And Hatter thinks that too. So there's going to be quite a bit of misdirection around this idea. But what's going to come out of this is eventually, and Alice will pick up this crystal vorpal blade and she'll carry it around and she'll take it into battle and she'll realize, whoa, this thing really kicks butt. What they're eventually going to come to realize, though, is that it was the entry of the landing of this meteorite, this falling star, this unbelievably powerful weapon that just obliterated Hatter's domain. Now, of course, towards the end of the game, Alice is going to realize the power of this thing, and she's going to realize that this is exactly what she has to do to escape this reality, is destroy it. Otherwise, she'll be forever trapped there. So that blade and maybe a couple of other tools put together that pass through the barrier from the outside become the pieces that are required in order for her to once and for all dismantle and escape from this reality.
Okay, sounds good. Quite like the idea of pushing items into the snow globe and having them transform. Sounds cool.
There you go. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going with all of this stuff. And I feel pretty interested. I feel pretty happy in the ideas that are coming forth from our art.
So, was this done after our art?
Yes.
Or right.
Yeah, so...
I didn't know if it was just like a coincidence that someone else had happened to make a crystal vorpal blade.
So we had posted this image up over on Twitter, and this is one of the things I love about the internet. There is a guy out in the world, his name is Dave Bagnell, and he's a prop maker at TT Workshop. And he follows my Twitter, and he's got quite a few followers of his own.
He does.
And he produces some pretty cool stuff. Like this is his BB-8 that he built apparently. So he's been working on, prop making quite a while and produces some pretty detailed and amazing stuff. And he decided, hey, I know how to make pretty cool weapons and props. And he saw what we did for this vorpal blade. And he decided, hey, I'll make a crystal vorpal blade. So this is props. This is props to Dave Bagnell, the prop maker, at Chaos Dave over on Twitter. He is the one who produced this fantastic vorpal blade, crystal vorpal blade. And so, yeah, it's amazing to see this. And now I've actually sent a message to him. He's, we're back and forth talking. I said, look, if we could figure out a way to produce this in mass, maybe we ought to find a way to get these out there into the world. So, yeah.
Then our shipping people would need that special certificate.
Yeah, well, I think maybe we produce them because I don't think Dave's in China. What do you think?
Might be. That sounds pretty Chinese.
Yeah. So my thought was perhaps Dave's not in China. So therefore, if Dave and factory are outside of China, they could produce them and we could help market and sell them. So, yeah.
All right.
Something to think about.
It is.
All right. What else have you got for...
Let's rattle through these.
Comments.
There's not many left. Madeline Tantleff, really loving the texture on the skirt. The old, you call that the Alchemy texture?
Well, I mean, this is very similar to the texture that you see on the Mad Hatter's hat.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are all alchemy symbols. And I would say, yeah, it's fair to call that an alchemy. I won't make fun of you like I do when you say H.
Okay. Melissa Britton says, oh my god, as if Hatter's Domain in Madness Returns wasn't already my favorite thing. This looks amazing. So hyped for this stage in particular.
Now, is she referring to the blown up kind of cool bits?
I think so.
There was the image that we sort of led the live stream with from Joey. What in the actual... Oh, there it is. I'm really angry at my art folder today. She may be referring to this.
Doesn't say. Just Hatter's Domain.
Right.
Could be.
Well, this is an image that Joey turned in yesterday or the day before, continuing on the theme of Wonderland blown to bits and shattered. I remember that line from the game, and I think we used it in the marketing of, my Wonderland is shattered. And I think to see this actual shattering and knowing that the game engine these days can render this kind of world and we could jump around on these big floating pieces, to me is really cool. So
it is. Roxanne Garcia loves the clip in her hair. Actually loved the old hairdo, but this one is gorgeous as well. The ringlets.
Yeah.
What's the clip?
A lot of people really liking the hair. I'm amazed at the number of comments on the hair, to be honest.
I went the wrong way again.
I always go the wrong way.
So what is it?
I'm one-handing it now, so I'm a little bit handicapped. Dog here. Oh, here. So it's alchemy symbols as a hair clip. Hey, now that's a cool idea.
I thought it was like the PlayStation symbols for a
That's a very cool idea. Yen has been looking for more fun stuff to make over at Mysterious, so I should point out to her that is something people like.
Looks good.
Don't start fighting with Lulu on the live stream, please. All right, what else you got?
Don't bite me, Lulu. Last one from Austin Cook. I'm very happy with the final version of this dress. Beautiful hair as well, and the pocket is so damn cool. It's a very slick look and totally works for this realm. I love the Hatter's new outfits as well. He looks very scholarly, which is fantastic for his Einstein-esque character in this game.
Right.
We don't have any new Hatter stuff to look
no,
at,
I mean, I think
week.
the stuff that they're referring to, you can go and find over on Patreon if you want to see sort of the updates to the looks that Hatter's getting. Is that it for the comments?
Yeah.
All right. There is a super chat that came in.
There is. From...
Good luck with that one.
ZH.
Oh, no.
528. Wargarble.
Wargarble.
Thank you for the super chat. What if there was a wardrobe mechanic where Alice can choose her dress and buffs that come with the dress as they are unlocked and discovered throughout the game?
Not this
Love
again.
the crystal vorpal blade. Well, ZH528 Wargargle, we have mentioned that quite a lot. You may have missed all that chat because that was a while ago now. That was like 4 or 5 months at least.
No, it was a year ago.
At least.
It was around the beginning of our start of the efforts on Asylum. We spent a lot of time on defining all these dresses, and there was a huge amount of debate on whether or not you should be able to choose whether or not to wear them at any time.
Can you switch, or are you locked to the dress?
And I don't want to go back there. But thank you, Mr. Wargarble, for the $10 super chat. Much appreciated. If you don't mind, let's please not dive into the dress debate right now. Though if you're curious about the dress debate, you can go back to previous live streams here on YouTube and you can see us back and forth on that. And I think we actually did eventually come to some sort of an agreement. It may have been in one of our crowd design sessions, and we got to a point and then we said, right, done, put a pin in it and we'll come back to it, but this is not the time.
Was the agreement that she's locked to dresses on the first playthrough? And on a new game plus, you can change.
Maybe something like that. Yeah.
Priscilla, thank you for the super chat. Would it be possible to make Alice hair accessories as a real thing we could buy from Mysterious?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just saying. So my wife Yin, she is in the process of making a variety of products. She just showed me an amazing I should have probably loaded that in here. Sometimes I just want to say something really quick. I sometimes feel hesitant to overload the live streams with too much physical stuff, merchandise, because I don't want this to come off like a QVC, like we're just selling physical stuff. But then people like physical stuff, and of course we do make physical stuff, and Mysterious, as a purveyor of custom physical stuff, is doing very well. I mean, people really like the products we're selling over there, so hey, yay. And I'm glad that Yin is able to work on that stuff. Anyway, she is working on a variety of products right now, purses, bags, and other kinds of accessories, and as many of you know, she's doing a line of makeup, and so there'll be more news on all that stuff soon. And yes, she's looking for more ideas and concepts. I'll throw this at her and we'll see about doing exactly this. So Priscilla, if you're interested in that, let us know kind of what it is you'd be looking for, like what kind of things this exactly, you know, what do you want it made out of, what you know, yeah, so let us know.
Yeah.
I see One-Eyed Skull says no to dress. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know, maybe just hates being dressed up, wants to be naked all the time.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Taylor Goen, super chats. Thank you. The dress bows as hair bows. I would buy them all. Yeah, a bow would be better, because I imagine that could get quite tangled up in people's hair.
Martin, you don't have hair. You can't comment on this. Girls
Can
stick all kinds of crazy things in their hair, and they do just fine.
Do I have to stay in my lane?
Don't mansplain girls on the types of things they stick in their hair. A, you're not a girl. B, you don't have hair. So, no, Martin, Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, man. Now, I did see a couple of little things we could just touch on here. These come up really often, but I can just address them. There is Bella saying, Bella Ghost Family says, are we going to do a comic book adaptation of Alice or comic series? Not really, Bella, because we don't have like the comic rights, the book rights, though we are talking about collecting the work we're doing for the design and pitch on Asylum together into a design Bible, and that basically will end up being a sort of illustrated novel. But as far as beyond that, maybe, who knows? Somebody with a Korean name, I'm sorry, I can't say that. I'll just assume your name is Kim, because 90% of Koreans are named Kim. And I don't mean that in an insulting manner. I just mean like literally 90% of Koreans are named Kim. So Mr. Kim from Korea says, I mean, is there a studio that picked it up yet? A publisher? I assume this is in reference to Alice Asylum. The answer is no. We don't yet have a publisher. We're still working on getting the license deal in place with EA. And these days, there actually hasn't been much movement because it's the holidays. We mentioned this last time in the crowd design, I think, that basically from Thanksgiving in the United States through to the end of the New Year's period, so like after the first or second week of January, nothing happens. The people don't even answer emails. And in fact, the last time I sent an email to EA, the contact that we have there was around Thanksgiving, and I haven't had a response yet, which is normal because he's an American living outside of the US. And my assumption is he left his desk and went and traveled back home or went on vacation, and he won't be back to his desk until middle of... No, that hasn't happened yet. What else have we got going on here? Merchandising. How the game makes real... I mean, it's not how the game necessarily makes real money yet because we don't have it, but for sure, you know, the stuff we sell at Mysterious does keep our lights on. So yeah,
it does.
I can't wait till we get some finality from EA. It would be really nice to get an answer, says Truth Decay. Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I can say, like, I honestly feel some frustration sometimes, but I don't think we're not in a weird zone yet. We're still within the timeline of how much time it took to get the deal done for Madness Returns, as an example. So if we get to a point where we're way outside that zone, you know, I'll start to feel something's wrong. But we have actually made solid, steady progress towards our goal. It's just that every step of progress usually takes 6 to 8 months. So, you know, yeah, we started a conversation. We got an initial draft of a term sheet. Then, you know, that took 6 months, and then it took another 6 months to turn around comments, and then it took another 6 months to get a response. This is just, it's normal.
Yeah, it's also kind of weird though, isn't it? I mean, you'd assume that like EA and stuff could hire a million people to turn stuff around like this quicker, but they don't.
You need to remember that one of the corporate culture things that is an issue at a company like EA is that no one ever wants to be held holding the bag for something that... So the idea that you as a corporate lawyer would go forth and be the single point person for a deal like financing or licensing a project like this is a big no-no, because then your entire career becomes associated with that. And if that fails and the corporate entity looks around and says, who did this? Who licensed this? Who funded this? And it failed. You want there to be like 100 people that raise their hand, not one person that raises their hand. Because if one person raises their hand, it's like, oh, dead, and you're done. But if 100 people raise their hands, it's like, oh, well, okay, what's the next thing we can screw up? Yeah.
All right.
What else have we got?
Nothing. Comments done. No more super chats. Okay. Do we? Well, it's that time.
I do see there's a bunch of people in the comments talking about Switch and PS4. I do want to make it really clear. We have an entire section of videos, FAQs, that answer all these questions. They answer what's going on with EA, how will EA be involved, what platforms will this be on, how long is this going to take, why aren't you doing that? They're all there. Go watch the FAQ videos.
Please do.
Please. All right. What else have we got? That's it in the comments.
Yeah.
But we're not done with art review.
Not yet, but we're also not done with the prize giving away
review.
Go
for it. What about I'm going to ask the question this time.
Please do.
Okay. My question, so this is for this prize giveaway time now.
Don't spam.
Do not spam, just say it once. So my question is, state in a number of months, and do it one time, state in a number of months how many more months you think we have before we get a deal done with EA. Curious. What is your estimate? What is your guesstimate for how many more months it'll take before we get a deal done with EA?
Should be interesting.
Yeah, so give us your expectation in the comments there. And what do you think, Martin?
6 to 12.
Yep. I suspect that's about right. I think that given the current progress, we're still looking at 6 to 12 months before we get this thing done. And when I say get this thing done, I mean it's either going to be a license deal or a license finance deal. But I think that it's still got a ways to go. That's because we actually have the foundation of what we need in terms of the language for a deal done. So that part of the process, which does take quite a while, everybody seems to have agreed on. The next part of the process is a little more straightforward, I think, because it's basically just the green light process. It's either a green light towards the license or it's a green light towards a license/finance deal. Now, if it ends up being green light towards license, I'd say we could have that done by the middle of. If it ends up that we go towards an sort of a license plus some sort of hybrid finance, or in any way EA gets involved with financing, whether it's like we do some crowdfunding for part and EA picks up the rest, or we do co-financing with like a publisher and EA, or maybe EA picks up the entire tab. Any variation on any form of involvement with EA financing would increase the time it would take for my guess.
All right.
What are they saying?
A lot of people are kind of keeping it under a year, sort of in like the 7 to 12 month range. I've seen a couple of people like the real Pimpcade, 18 to 24. That'd suck.
Yeah.
15 Blick Butterfly. But yeah, I think most people are probably thinking within the year, but probably up to a year.
Yeah. Well, one of the things to keep in mind is no matter how long it takes, let's say it is another 12 months, we are going to be focusing in 2020 on getting all of the story out for what it is that we're building. So my goal is that by the end of 2020, we've got a complete design Bible. Now, if we end up at the end of 2020 and we have a complete design Bible in hand and we still aren't getting anywhere, then we're going to have to think about a massive regroup, reframe of what we're going to do.
People saying the audio is cutting out, but we're not dropping any frames.
Maybe because I'm not talking into the microphone.
Don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. It could be I need to talk into my microphone because I've been looking away and it does have a pretty severe filter on it.
Right. Hope you didn't say anything too important.
Nah, I never say anything important. All right.
Are we going to roll it?
I forgot that part.
Let's do the prize, but let's not roll it.
Ellis Player 12, you have won the Nightbot giveaway. The instructions for claiming your prize are in the description below. And what you've won is the ability to choose any one product from over at the Mysterious Shop, which is $100 or less in value, or I should say the price of. So you could choose, for instance, an art print like Perfectly Unbalanced, or you could choose a vorpal wallet. But anyway, you can choose one thing of value of $100 or less, and then do the things in the instructions below, and we will send you your Christmas prize winnings.
There you go, Ellis Player 12.
Congratulations.
Say something if you've heard us.
All right, so is there anything else we need to cover before we get back into art review?
No, let's just dive right in.
All right, cool. So this is a continuation of the work that Dario is doing. again, this is all shared over on Patreon with quite a bit of write-up about, where this fits and what it means. But basically what Hatter's Domain will be seen as in the game is it was previously this sort of like standard, beautiful English countryside, green grass and trees and lovely little butterflies floating around and snakes, in under the bushes. But what happens now, again, spoiler, we think maybe it was Hatter's experiment that blew the place apart and screwed everything up. But perhaps we'll learn that it was something else. Vorpal blade. But in the explosion and the blowing things up, everything is going to get turned upside down, inside out. So these would be sort of like Hatter's home and workshop, or other bits of the village that were scattered about this landscape are now big, broken, floating, fun Escher Bosch nightmares.
Yep, it's looking pretty awesome. Not much else to say, really. I mean, Dario, he's got mad skills and he's pretty on point with what he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, I think. And one of the things I mentioned last time around that I really like about this, these images are really helping to inspire further details in the story and the design, but also images like this really help us to think about like the asset production and the assets necessary to build the game. Because when you see things like this, you can actually see elements of the level building and of like, hey, yeah, we would send out for this 3D model of this teapot house and this bridge that's connecting it, which we can then copy paste around the scene. And anyway, it's really nice to see someone who has a mind for the construction of the environment. I can see this, as I think many of you can, as a place in the game that you would hop around inside of and have your various goals and quests to accomplish.
Yeah, I hope it wouldn't be too complicated in there. I don't like getting lost inside big structures when I'm playing games.
That's what your White Rabbit would be for.
Ooh.
We have said that before, haven't we?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this was quite early on, but the White Rabbit is there as your companion, but also someone who maybe in some sort of ghostly fashion, like you press a button and he's always going to show you the way. White Rabbit, Martin.
Yeah.
Yay. Don't get your head stuck up your H. All right. So this is more of Dario's messed up Hatter Domain. I really like this motif that he's come up with here. This sort of buildings created out of teapots and all the accoutrements of the tea party, and sort of whacked out nature, like big mushrooms.
Yeah, he does like those big bulbous spiky things.
They look good. And I can't wait to see when he's got this stuff all colored in. I've seen a couple of his color finish sketches. He does really great coloring and lighting. So, these are just fast sketches. These will get turned into more finished art relatively soon. Now, these I thought were great. Sort of frog, and I guess that's is that a fly in a top hat?
A flying frog in a top hat saying "goo,
goo." I love when our artists give funny words and language to the animals and characters in our sketches.
I'm getting like lots of like kind of just Howl's Moving Castle vibes from this image.
Yeah, but it works.
It does.
It's okay. I mean, this sort of teapots stacked upon teapots, and I like these doors and windows into the teapots. Now, I think this is like a frog head. A frog turned into a building with a top hat, and it's got a door in it.
And a bow tie. That's very dapper.
This is the kind of druggy, psychedelic, hallucination, Wonderland stuff that we want to see. So, really good work that Dario is doing. Fantastic.
It is.
So yeah, here is Hatter's Domain blown apart. Again, I can imagine that from her position in denial, I had this idea that Alice would see this explosion off in the distance, and that perhaps just prior to this explosion, and this could be her in a bit of a dream sequence or in a bit of a recollection, she's staring off into the sky, perhaps the night sky of Wonderland, and she sees what looks like a shooting star come streaking across the sky, and then shortly after followed by this massive explosion, And at that point, she's not going to know, or maybe we might think that the two are associated. But it is that when she gets to Hatter's domain, Hatter and everyone else around here is saying that, this explosion, the destruction of this domain, it's all Hatter's fault, and Hatter was messing around with the nature of reality, and Hatter was trying to split the atom, and boom, he blew up his whole domain. Again, my idea is that somewhere hidden amongst all the chunks and pieces of what's left of this domain, much like the Sword in the Stone, the Arthurian legend, Alice will find this crystal vorpal blade jammed into the ground, and she will be able to extract that. And of course, that'll become the tool that she uses to eventually unravel and deconstruct this version of Wonderland's reality. So again, yeah, good piece of art from Dario. Art leading to inspiration, the inspiration leading to the story and design for the new game. "You maniacs, you blew it up," says Lucas Severin. I think that's a reference to
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, the planetarium. Alrighty, continuing on. That's me sniffing flowers. Why is that in there?
Confused me. But it's a Patreon thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep accidentally landing on that page anyway, so I don't know. Patreon did this article, so I thought I would just bring it up because I've never looked more like a weightlifting meathead in my life. I don't know how they managed to get this picture of me where I actually look chunky because I'm anything but. I don't have a neck. I just am a head that is attached by a stump to my shoulders. Is that what I look like?
No, I think it's just a weird angle.
Anyway, it's fine. I do look quite happy. This was the Patreon assembly in Los Angeles, and this headline is so cringe. American McGee is changing the way video games are made. No, I'm not.
Now, they didn't run this by you?
They did, but I didn't see this headline. It's funny. He gave me review rights and editing rights, but I didn't see this headline until the article was published. And I wrote over on Twitter, this made me laugh because on my first day of work at EA, I had gone from id, where I'd been working there for 4 years on Doom and Quake, to EA. And when I went to work for EA, they had just acquired Maxis, which are the creators of Sims. And I actually went to work initially side by side with Will Wright, the lead creator of The Sims and SimCity, as they were sort of midway through development on The Sims. And so I kind of got in there at Maxis, and I was sort of involved with The Sims until I, one too many times, suggested sort of torture, murder, gore stuff that you should be able to do in the game, and they were like, "No, banish, go away." So anyway, when I was sent away, I was sent to EA's headquarters, Redwood Shores, and in the first meeting, the first day at Redwood Shores, my new boss there, he starts out this meeting of 30 of the department leads, and now I'm going to be I was some sort of uber creative director, maybe kind of over a lot of these people. And he starts the meeting by going, "Everybody, this is American McGee, and he's going to show you how it's done." I was like, "Wow, thanks, man. Thanks for painting a giant kick me sign."
Yeah, you're all terrible, and this one man is going to fix you.
No. Horrible. Anyway, so this article, if you're curious, I figure, if you are a patron, if you're one of our insane children, you might find this article to be sweet because it is actually talking about what you patrons are enabling us to do via Patreon. That is to create all this amazing art and for me to sniff flowers. And so...
Is there comments allowed on this article? Has anyone said anything?
I don't know, but the main concept here was that we are democratizing game development, which of course most companies do keep shrouded in secrecy, and I'm not much for that anymore. I got tired of the whole secret stuff with regards to game development. So yeah, so if you're a patron or if you're not, you want to kind of see what we're doing, this kind of encapsulates a bit of it. I brought up the fact of the orange rabbit for those of you that were around, and how at the point where the orange rabbit arrived, it made me realize, hey, the mistakes are actually great content. It's really fun for us to highlight the process And so, yeah, this picture is a mistake, and it's just fun to highlight that.
We haven't talked about the Cheeto Rabbit in ages.
Yeah, I like Cheeto Rabbit. So anyway, there you go. That is why that picture is in that folder. What else have we got in here? So have we covered this sufficiently? Does everybody know what we're doing?
I think we covered that quite sufficiently at the start.
What are we doing next, though?
Enamel pins?
No. For this doll, like, what was the outcome?
Well, still need to choose the plush, don't we, really? I mean, it's looking like it's probably not going to be this, and it might be one of the companions. Or, because if you choose an Alice, everyone's got their favorite, and you kind of want a bit of a consensus before you go pulling the trigger on something like this.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to continue. I mean, it's tough because in this concept of crowd design and of the democratic dictatorship and all of this, there is still this issue of people don't know what they want until you give it to them. Like I'm still a big believer in that. At the same time, I'm a big believer in the sort of opening up the process and making it transparent and people being able to see. But at some point, we still have to produce initial prototypes to kind of gauge interest, and I feel like we're not quite there yet on like what that prototype might be. I know that Jen did up a couple of other images. So this was like the Cuterwalkie.
What?
Cuterwalkie. So it's a Jabberwocky, but it's made cute. So it could be a plush.
Kind of cute.
I think this kind of falls foul of the complex.
Oh, that one does.
Kind of model issues. So something we need to think about. Again, here was her mock turtle. Maybe a little bit less complex, probably a little easier to produce. I wonder if the mock turtle is well known enough for people to care about it. We know that, like, if you were to ask people on the street to name Alice in Wonderland characters, you'd get Alice, and then you'd probably get the Cheshire Cat. You'd get the Mad Hatter. Oh, I remember what it was. I said to you the other day, maybe we should explore doing the Caterpillar.
You did.
And I said that because the Caterpillar is not just kind of big in the circles of Alice in Wonderland fans. It's also big in the circles of people who enjoy recreational activities that are not alcohol, but may have a similar effect. I don't want to say it because I don't want us to get banned or demonetized, but anyway, the Caterpillar, he does smoke a hookah. There's a kind of there's a story in that.
There is.
Certain parts of our audience might feel a camaraderie with him and so maybe he would be a good would like that, to have that little mascot.
He would have to come with the hookah, which again adds complexity.
But it's the hookah, though, is just a little plastic modeled thingy. It's not too bad. It's not like a whole character model, right?
True.
It's just kind of a little prop. Though, I suppose... look, Jennifer, I can take a crack at the Caterpillar. Is that you being funny there? That's not the thing we were talking about smoking, Jennifer. I was talking about something different color.
She's using some slang, some Brit slang, or probably slang in most other parts of the world. Jessica Brandenburg super chatted us. Thank you for that. Is the White Rabbit like Cheshire in that he gives hints and such along the way? I may have missed it if you already mentioned it.
Yes, Jessica. A beard. Like she's got a beard. I'm not making fun of you, Jessica. I'm just trying to sort out what's going on in your profile picture there. It looks like you have a blue beard.
The face, perhaps.
It's lovely, Jessica. Nothing wrong with it, even if you do have a beard. That's fine. So, Jessica, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the question. Yes, we have said previously, but maybe not detailed out fully enough yet, that the White Rabbit, the plush doll, the companion, where can you grab it? And so that little plush doll that Alice carries, it's someone that she would talk to. It's someone that would provide like shelter and solace to her. and also it's someone that she could send out into either battle or into the shadows or into a number of different situations to kind of scout out and also lead her where she needs to go. I mean, I really like the idea that, follow the white rabbit becomes a thing that you do. You follow around the rabbit in the game to know where you.
There you go, Jessica.
Yes. Alrighty. So what have we got? We've got people saying Mock Turtle, Obnard the Card Guard, Yas Obnard.
Isle Dress, Mock Turtle, Jabberwocky. Yeah, it's a tricky one. There's just so many different choices.
Well, that also brings us to, there are new characters getting made. So these are sketches by one of our other artists, Norm. And this is meant to be an exploration of the kind of beasties. Kind of the best label I could give them.
Good label.
But it's the beasties that you would find in the blown up remnants of the Mad Hatter's domain. So the idea here is that you imagine that Hatter's domain before the cataclysm, before the explosion, it was a place that was sort of standard, lovely English countryside, green grass and fields and trees and termites and deer and but after the explosion they get all mixed up, and this could be kind of the source of some of the known characters from the book, like the Bandersnatch now becomes an invented thing in our lore. It could also be that some of the things there just get ghosted, like the deer just get zapped and they're all now ghost deer. That's Pirate Jim. Come on, art folder. And the brain jellyfish, the electric wolf eel, toad-headed grasshoppers. I love this.
The electric wolf eel. Is that an actual name of a thing? Because I'm not seeing anything wolfy there.
No, this head reminds me of the deep sea,
the anglerfish.
The anglerfish. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what Norm's doing there. Maybe he started off and he forgot to put the wolf's head on it.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I like everything on this page anyway. Yeah.
I mean, this is hilarious. And then so would this snatch a cricket-headed frog for food?
Possibly.
But we could do this ghost deer as an actual like plastic model USB light.
Could do.
It's kind of cool. But yeah, so when we're talking about the new design for any plushes, we could also be looking at stuff inspired by these crazy new animals, which we'll find in Hatter's domain. Now, again, I think there's the problem of people, they're not widely recognized. If you had these things on your desk, people wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, hey, is that from that Alice game?
That's great.
You'd be like, hey, no.
I was like, fish.
I mean, this is super cool. I love that he's a fish with fish hooks and he's catching other fish.
But I like the sneck elephant. The sneck-elephant.
Ella Sneck? Sneck-elephant?
Does the elephant had its eyes sewn shut?
Yeah, why do you need eyes if you've got a snake
hell, man?
or a trunk? He's fantastic. Can you imagine like being on one of those clump islands of Mad Hatter's domain that's all blown up, and then the whole island starts shaking, and like Alice only comes up to this thing's kneecap, and it comes out of the shadows like snack,
and
elephant.
You suddenly hear.
Terrible. Terrible. The joke comes full circle. All right.
Kenny Morrow, thank you for the super chat. I'm sat weirdly, sorry. I was warming my hands up behind my back. The caterpillar is my favorite character. Sounds like a great idea. You would call him Absalom, like he's named in the Tim Burton film.
No, Kenny.
No. Kenny.
Mention that again and you're going to get banned from the chat, even with the $5 super chat.
That's the film we do not mention unless we're making fun of.
So thank you, Kenny, for the super chat. The suggestion that we would name things after or similar or any way related to the Tim Burton films is no.
Big no.
We don't talk about, we don't watch. First rule of Asylum Club is you don't talk about Tim Burton film or Disney stuff. Yeah, that would be copyright infringement, as Lucky Dragon points. Alrighty.
Truth Decay asks me a question. Thank you for the super chat. Martin, have you seen the trailer for Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga? It looks pretty amazingly realistic. Curious of your thoughts on it if you've seen it. I have seen it. It was a sort of a concept coming soon type trailer for the Xbox Series X. And it looks fantastic. But even though I've always said I did not like the first Hellblade as a game, it's an experience. And considering the size of the team, the first one also looked pretty damn amazing. So yeah, I mean, if the stuff on the that trailer for the sequel is in game, then yeah, it's got some awesome power behind it, and it looks like it will be another good experience. Again, the game part, who knows? But yeah, it looks pretty fancy. But I've always been a PlayStation guy. I've never had Xbox. So, yeah, I've never had any of them. But I'm sure the PlayStation 5 is going to have an equal amount of oomph as the Series X will have. So, there you go.
All right, Truth Decay, you got your full $5 out of that one.
You did.
So, what else do we have going on in the folder? I did want to mention something. Oh, no, we should finish up. Let's finish up the Hatter's Domain.
Okay.
Beasties. The Gallery of Beasties. Now, this one was shared over on Patreon.
Some pigs.
I love these pigs so much. They are fantastic. There's a number of reasons why they're fantastic. Now, first off, they very much qualify for my sense of if it's tattooable, it's fantastic. And I feel like there's something very tattooable about these pigs. So I really like the blimpy floating ones, and yeah, it's great.
The ones with the long legs remind me of something. I'm sure there's been long-legged stuff like that in movies before. The sheep in the dream sequence in A Million Ways to Die in the West,
right?
I think we're a bit like that, but I'm sure there's other examples.
Well, I mean, the thing that comes to mind for me, and it often happens, and I think maybe it's because Norm is a big fan of Pink Floyd and perhaps of The Wall, but Pink Floyd, they did also have these big floating pig balloons in something or other. I can't remember. Our insane children will tell us in a moment here, but I'm going to type this into the internet, and internet is going to tell us that Pigs, the album, I think it was, they of course had giant floating pigs as a part of, I think it was promotion or marketing for the album or something like that. So there you go. Big giant floating pigs. Is that what you were thinking of?
No, it was definitely long-legged something in a movie.
Were you thinking about big fat floating Trump?
I wasn't.
That would be hilarious. You're running around Mad Hatter's Domain, and then suddenly out of nowhere comes a big fat floating Trump baby. What do you think? Anyway,
Jennifer says, is it The Mist? Great movie, but no.
What about that episode of The Simpsons where Homer interacted with a giant floating pig?
I don't remember that episode.
Either. That must have been in the more kind of recent seasons, because I don't. But yeah, it was Pink Floyd's album Animals, and in that, on the cover of Animals, there was a giant floating pig. That was what I thought of when I saw the floating pigs.
All right.
Either way, whatever they remind you of, they just remind me of awesome. Again, the idea that you're running around Hatter's Domain and then you would come across, floating off in the distance, just big, graceful, floating fat pigs. Great.
Yep. Have another one, don't we? One last animal image.
Yeah, there's quite a few in this series, and I'm hopeful that he will continue to create stuff like these. Now, these snails, I want to say really quickly, when there's a point where things cross over into what I'd call kind of the realm of Lovecraft. They take on a kind of spiky, I don't know. There's just something about the rendering on some of these, especially the broken shell, these kind of teeth.
That's a great one. That's my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, all the eyes and the broken shell, like leaking snail slime.
Well, all right. I don't know. Chat, let us know. Of all the animals that you've seen paraded today from Norm's gallery of ghastly beasties, which one was your favorite? I'd have to say pigs are definitely top of my list. I quite liked, I quite liked the fish.
Snekophant.
He's okay, but so the thing I really like about this is I can see this floating around in the space between the broken up islands of these domains.
Right.
And I really like when we've got creatures who make sense in that context. So one of the things I didn't enjoy that Horizon Zero Dawn game as much as you did, but one of the things that I did find quite interesting and beautiful was these really big monsters. There was even the tower head monsters. You could step onto their heads and they were walking around.
Yep.
I could imagine a monster like this fish being a similar kind of, he's the bus that takes you between the broken up islands.
Right.
All right. So you could jump onto his back, or you could grab hold of one of these hooks and he could carry you along to another location in Hatter's blown up domain. So creatures like that serve a kind of double purpose. Why is my art folder so poop today? Why?
Is that going to be the question for the final prize giveaway? Your favorite beastie?
Could be. Is it time for that?
Yeah, we're a little bit out of whack with prize giving, but I think it's about time.
Alrighty. Well, let's.
Some of them are already doing it.
Let's go ahead and do that. So it is that time. We're going to give away the final prize for today's live stream, Christmas special with Lulu, and that, of course, is going to be your choice of any one item from the mysterious shop with a value of $100 or less. And so, what you want to do to be recognized by Nightbot as a eligible contestant is say something in the chat specifically of all of these beasties we just reviewed. Which is your favorite? And by the way, don't spam it because I don't know. Maybe that
once.
Yeah, say it once because maybe spamming gets you banned from YouTube for life or something.
We don't know anymore.
All right, I'm gonna say on this page, I really like Ghost Deer.
It has a quality about it, doesn't it? It's simple. It does what it says on the tin. It
feels like something you'd see in Mononoke Hime, the Princess Mononoke movie. So yeah, I like it for that. I like it because it's one of the few that kind of wouldn't come up and bite your head off.
They'd probably do something more sinister, like it would just rip your soul out.
Or maybe you'd just be walking along and squish, and then you realize you'd stepped in ghost deer poop.
Ghostly poop.
On this page, I'm going to go for the toad-headed grasshopper.
I'm going to go for the brain jellyfish. Reminds me of the brains in Futurama.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it, but yeah. On this page is definitely the giant fish.
Snekophant.
You're going to go for Snekophant, are you?
Yeah.
Pigs. Well, if I had to pick one, I would pick this sort of Hinden pig.
I'm going to go for the one that's got a skeleton on his back.
That's pretty cute. Yeah. And it would freak you out to see that just walking across in the fog in the distance.
Yeah. Little skeleton guy looking down at you. I'm just passing through. Yeah. I'm dead.
I don't like any of them.
Cracked shell.
These just don't do
Although
it
the
for
bottom
me.
left one with the sideways mouth is kind of gross, I'm still going to stick with cracked shell.
Yeah. That doesn't do it for me. Anyway, so let's see what we've got going on. What do they say in the comments, Martin?
This is quite varied. Bandersnatch, jellyfish, ghost deer. I don't think there's any particular winner. Everyone's liking a lot of the art.
Is there any one particular I don't like?
I haven't seen anything like that.
I see.
Everyone's being very positive. Even Priscilla.
What?
I know.
Not Priscilla. Surely not Priscilla. I thought for sure she would be disappointed or
disapproving of
something in there. Oh well, Priscilla. Maybe Priscilla's overcome by the cheer of the Yule. Lulu
Maybe
believes that's what it is. Anyway, happy holidays, Priscilla. The Bandersnatch has always been my favorite creature from Alice in Wonderland. However, the art shown my favorite is the electric wolf eel, says Courtney Hill. Bella Ghost Family says, are you gonna do Alice meet and greets where fans can meet Alice in person, interact with her, talk to her, and take pictures with her? What do you think? Go to a cosplay convention. There's always an Alice there. We don't control where Alice goes and what she does and who she talks to and meets. Rachel Garza says floating snail is interesting.
Priscilla doesn't like the snails.
Yay!
Man, it's like you're just on the same wavelength these days, man.
Amazing, Priscilla. This is amazing. This is the best present I could have had.
Merry Christmas.
Is that Priscilla and I agree on something for once. Alrighty, let's roll it.
Roll it.
And it's Alice, Queen of Madness.
Wow.
Congratulations, Alice, Queen of Madness. You have won the Nightbot giveaway, which means you need to scroll down to the description below, follow the instructions within 24 hours, provide all the information requested there, and make sure that you specify clearly which item from the mysterious shop with a value of $100 or less, one item only, you choose to take home as your prize. Yay!
Please do that.
I think that
do we have to talk about this?
I saved it for the very last. Alex, if you're out there and you're listening,
please come home.
Please come home. We don't want to keep putting your picture on the side of milk cartons. It's scaring the children. So Alex, he did produce this as a mini boss. Now I thought we had actually covered this.
When?
I don't know. Had we not?
No, I kind of have a familiar feeling about some giant boss thing that he drew.
But I thought we'd covered it, and then he wrote me a message or sent me a exploding package or something that basically said hey, mate, get bent, governor, why haven't you talked about my boss design?
That your Australian accent?
I don't know. And so it wasn't for lack of interest or not wanting to, but sometimes what happens, I know, is that Alex will send me an image like this and it'll be 35 megabytes. And especially if it comes through and maybe I wanted to post it to Instagram, it's in a weird format. I mean, not format, but it's in a weird ratio, like a size. So, and then also it's huge. And I'm sorry, Alex, that's not conducive to quick sharing. So I think Alex knows that now. He's on board with that. But yeah, I had thought that we'd covered this on Patreon or something. Anyway, this fits into, as I said at the beginning of the stream hours ago as a setup, this fits into the Queen's Domain. And the Queen's Domain is one of anger. And this is actually a boss that Alice would encounter in the courthouse. Now, the courthouse we have talked about on Patreon. I shouldn't say she'll encounter it in the courthouse. I think this is sort of the judge she may encounter. Either, I'm thinking what'll happen is she'll go to the courthouse to receive judgment. And this is all before she goes to meet the queen. So she goes to the courthouse and she's judged and she's sentenced. And the sentence is croquet, where it's like she's sentenced to death. She's sentenced to croak with croquet. And that means that she actually has to go play this super brutal version of croquet which no one ever survives. And yet, of course, because it's a game, and if we killed you, then it would just be game over. So she has to go and play this crazy version of croquet. Look, I found it.
Yay.
It is. It's there on Patreon. Anyway, we'll just cover all this again. Both of the images are fully written up there on Patreon. So yeah, I'm scrolling through here. I'm trying to find the picture of the courthouse. Anyway, so you would go through the courthouse and you would be judged, and then you would be sentenced to croquet. And then at the end of croquet, because you do actually win, which is not supposed to be the way it comes out, the court, the boss, whatever, they come out and they say, hey, no, you're not allowed to win. Here, eat this thing. And this thing would be sort of like this mid-level mini boss that Alice has to fight and defeat. And as Alex has written it up, this boss actually has sort of 2 stages.
Of course, it's a boss. It wouldn't be a boss if it didn't have stages.
Yeah. So it is hair swaying like tentacles, or immersed underwater in the air. Various glowing alchemy symbols like stigmata. And so, yeah, you'd fight this, and I think you're supposed to kind of beat on it for a while until you tip the scales. And so once you've tipped the scales, then it rips it rips open the face mask. H! Yes, and when the face mask rips open, it's So, yeah, you rip open its face, and now, of course, it becomes more frenzied, and it's more, I'd say it's just not happy. You sort of ripped its face open. I mean,
I'd be unhappy.
Yeah, you would be unhappy. But anyway, so, I mean, I think that's probably the thing you got to shoot at there, the little gas bag heart
An
thing.
eye with a heart as the pupil.
I don't know. I figured that was some sort of gas bag.
Veiny gas bag.
I don't think that's an eye.
Okay.
Anyway, who knows? Alex knows. So yeah, this is one of Alex's boss designs. This boss was called Judgment, obviously, because it's got scales, like as in weight scales, not snack scales. So there you go. Alex.
Happy?
Are you happy now, Alex? Not only have we covered it as the final parting bit of this live stream, but it's also covered in great detail over here on Patreon. So
it is.
There you go. Now, Alex was asking for this to be covered because he wanted feedback. So please, Hamish, I know you're watching over on YouTube. Please write in the comments your feedback, Hamish, because it is what Alex needs. It's what plants need. Hamish has got what plants need. I think that's about it.
Is it? Do a final scroll. Let's have a look.
All right. Did we miss anything in the comments there? I think everybody's just left now because all the prizes have been given away.
Maybe. We did that last week. Well, last stream.
Yeah. Snack. This has been a very snacky stream.
What's that?
So this was Omri's.
Oh, I see what it is.
It's Omri's cousin. I don't know. I think he's got a lot of cousins or something, but I don't know if it's the one he hates. But it's one of his friends or his cousins or somebody did an actual model and a rendering.
It's the Mercury dress, but with no one in it.
Correct.
I see it now.
Yes. So this is the Mercury dress with no one in it.
Quite good.
It's pretty cool. Other than the fact that if you were to wear that, you'd get instant, massive mercury poisoning. But I don't know.
Maybe it's not mercury on the inside. Maybe it's like fur.
Maybe. I don't know. Not gonna guess because I don't think it's real. But anyway, that's what that is. Pirate Jam, Mad Hatter's Domain, Alchemy dress. So wait, is the Alchemy dress mercury on the inside?
Maybe.
Maybe. More Hatter's Domain stuff. I think that's kind of that's it. Me sniffing a flower, beasties, Pirate Jam.
Jam, Snecaphant.
That's it. We did it.
We did it.
We covered all the stuff.
High fives all around.
Yay. All right, everybody. We just go through the tabs here really quick. Yeah, Mysterious. If you want a prize, go to Mysterious, pick a thing. Oh yeah, we will do a makeup live stream maybe next week, even though I know it's kind of Christmas, but she's got a ton of stuff to show off, so we will probably do that next week. Pirate Jam, if you want to enter the pre-jam skirmish, go over to itch.io and search for some snack and you'll find it. That doesn't start for another 22 days. It's January 10th, so if you want to enter and you want to win a prize that is a trip to Thailand for Pirate Jam, there you go. You can learn more about Pirate Jam at pirate-jam.com. I have an Instagram. Look, there's Lucky. He's sticking his tongue out at you.
At all of us.
He's saying snack. So yeah, there is Lucky. And then we'll get to the things here. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, the page of Do the Things.
Take it away, Martin.
Over at AmericanMcGee.com, if you would like to help support the pre-production of Alice Asylum, there's a list of 4 things. Number 1, sign up to the mailing list, which would be great. Doesn't take very long. Only real emails, please. Not your dead grandma.
Rip grandma.
Rip grandma. Rip grandma. Yep, that. Number 2, follow American on all the things. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Are you anywhere else?
I don't know.
Yeah, search for him. Yep, follow and like and all that stuff. Support our Patreon. There are many tiers that you could join at. You could get some awesome merch, or you could just be down at the low levels and just get access to all the news and art, or up to $5 and get access to Discord. Head on over, take a look. There's lots to choose from. And finally, over at Mysterious, we have a shop full of things. T-shirts, wallets, posters, books, necklaces, lots and lots of cool and awesome items that you might like the look of. And yeah, head on over, take a look, buy some stuff if you want. That'd be great.
All right, that's it. That was a very special Christmas live stream. Lulu stayed with us for majority of that. That was weird.
And we went for 25 minutes longer than normal, although we did start a bit late.
Alrighty. Well, thank you all very much for joining us today, including Lulu. Again, your support and your presence here and your feedback are all very much appreciated. We love you all very, very much. And yeah, we're going to take, I think, next week off because it's Christmas, but there is a crowd design session tomorrow. That would be, for us, it's December 20th, 10 a.m. Hong Kong time. For those of you in the States, it'll be December 19th at like 6 p.m. PST. So if you are a patron and you have access to our Discord server, then do join us over there and we will continue the conversation around the Hatter's Domain.
Probably.
Okay.
So yeah, jib it up.
Jib it up. Get bent. And Merry Holiday.
Merry Festivus.
Neckamus. Bye-bye. Oh boy. Alrighty. Bye-bye.